Simplified Chaos, episode 68.
Life is beautiful and full of chaos.
And it can get slightly out of hand if that shit's not tamed.
We're here to share how to simplify the little things to help you lead a more intentional life.
This is Simplified Chaos.
Hey, wonderful friends. Welcome to another episode of Simplified Chaos. This is Jillian, one of your hosts, and I'm with my husband and co-host, Nicholas.
What's going on, folks? Hope you all are doing well, staying safe, not losing your shit during this quarantine.
For real?
Yeah, but no, we're happy to have you with us, and today is Tuesday. If you're listening to this the day that this episode comes out, I know a lot of people are wondering what day of the week it is. It is Tuesday,
So
if
true.
you're listening to the day it comes out.
The days are blending together.
Yes, they are. So what's going on here, Jilly? What are we talking about today?
Today's episode is all about co-living.
Yeah, this is an interview episode where we interviewed our co-living partners.
Our roomies.
Our roomies. Your roomie for life.
She is. We're never separating. At least if I can help it. But, one day it might happen. I know.
Yeah. So just wanted to set this episode up for you all. We obviously will talk about our gratitude as we dive into this, but we wanted to do an episode about our co-living situation. So we do live with your sister, her fiance, their handsome son, our 3 dogs, and then of course there's you, me, and Lucille. So we have our own episode of Full House going on here.
And I thought, what a better time because of quarantine life, because we did have some people asking us, like, how's that going? You can't leave the home. There's a lot of people in your house. And we're like, you know what? This is a great opportunity to just talk with our roommates about the situation and answer some listener questions about how we're doing it and why.
Yeah, and we've been doing one interview episode a month, and obviously with this quarantine, we're not going out and interviewing anybody at this time. So what better time now than to interview our roomies? Yeah,
to just give you a little introduction of, I think you kind of prefaced what their names were, but it's my sister Randi, and did you say Mark?
Her fiance
Mark, and they have a 7-month-old named Reese. So if you hear the name Reese, it is their baby, and he was on the podcast with us because Randi was breastfeeding during the episode, which kind of brought back memories when I used to do it with Lucille.
Yeah, the very early days of our podcast where Lucille was actually part of it, but we can't trust her right now to raise hell. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, we kind of wanted to set up our living situation before we dive into that. I know that was one of the questions, and we really didn't dive into it on the podcast. We thought it was more appropriate for us to kind of set it up here. But we live in a single family home. It is 4 bedrooms. We have 2 bathrooms and then 2 half bathrooms in the house. We have a main floor, which consists of a family room, a kitchen, what we call a butler's pantry, which is designated the dining room, but we changed that up. And then we have what the living room was, or is supposed to be, is our dining room. So, we have a decent amount of space on the main level. And then we also have a finished basement, which is now my office, and it's also got a bed down there in the basement for when your dad and some folks want to spend the night. So
it's the guest wing.
It's the guest wing of the house / office / laundry / weight room that doesn't get used very much. So yeah, we have a pretty comfortable situation here, but obviously we have 4 adults, 2 kids, and 3 dogs roaming around. So that is really the setup there. And I think what we want to do is, before we dive into the episode, is Jill just kind of set it up and why we are doing this episode.
Well, I feel like that's why we started podcasting, was the why. What's the purpose, the intention behind it. And so this is the house I grew up in. So basically my sister and I have been living here since we moved in.
Yeah, since 93.
Since 93. And when Nick and I got married, we bought out my mom, and Randi came with the house. My mom was like, see you later. You guys are married now. I need to get out of here. We didn't kick her out or anything.
No.
So she left and moved in with her sister, and my sister kind of stayed. And it was the best decision, because it's like, why should she leave? We had plenty of space.
Yeah.
She paid rent. She was a responsible adult, and, she had a dog, and we had plenty of space for the dog to, I mean, she's basically best friends with my dog.
Yeah.
So it just seems so silly for her not to live with us. And then along came Mark, and things happened very quickly. They fell in love.
Yeah.
A baby came out of nowhere. Well, it didn't come out of nowhere. We all know how babies come from. But the situation came where they're like, okay, so where are we going to settle? And Mark was still living in his family home. Mm-hmm. And it's not like he had his own place. And we had more space here. I think a lot more space than his house did. And it was just one of those, I don't know if it was difficult for Mark at all, but I mean, we had a bedroom waiting.
He made it seem like it was pretty easy transition in our
so
episode. You'll hear,
and, you know, just easygoing. And Mark was just like, you know what? I'll move in. It seems to be the better fit. You have plenty of space because he has a dog too. So he brought his dog over. It was a slower transition, but you know, they have a nursery for Reese now, and we had another bedroom for their bedroom together.
Yeah.
So it just kind of made sense for him to join us instead of Randy trying to make it work over there and move more pieces. And I mean, I know they eventually have plans to find a home and settle.
Right. And they'll dive into that in the episode. Yeah.
But that's kind of the why. It just kind of happened organically that way, you know?
And it's funny, you know, we get a lot of questions when we talk with people and say, oh, you're co-living? Like, I'll get those. Half the reactions is, oh, that's really neat. How's that working out? And the other reactions are, oh, how's that working out? And it's just like that tone. And it's like, no, it's great. I was like, and I have nothing but positives to spit off at them, you know, when they ask that question. And a lot of people are like, oh, that's really great. So, you know, this episode kind of explains the whole situation. We get some tough questions answered. No, they're not really tough. I'm kidding. But they are really exciting questions. It's a fun episode. A lot of silly banter. We killed a bottle of Woodford Reserve during the whole thing. So, it's really fun. But anything else before we dive into this, Jilly?
No, I just think it's not going to be, I feel like, as structured as our other interviews. It's kind of just going with the flow.
It's a lot of fun.
Just driven by humor and the questions that we got from you guys and just kind of going with it. It's like lounging. So grab a cocktail or a coffee and just get cozy. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
All right, let's dive into it.
Cool. Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. We are here. We are here with Randi. It's so weird saying your name, Randi. My sister, I know, and her fiance, Marc.
My fiance.
Hello. Welcome to the podcast, guys. We're excited to have you.
Thank you.
In our living room floor.
On our living room floor. And
with cocktails in
we
hand.
have a baby on the podcast for the first time in probably about a year. Lucille was, for those of you who are listening for the first time, Lucille was a frequent guest on our podcast. You can hear her suckling from the teat every now and then. So now we have your son here with us as well. So it's great to have a full room. We have 3 dogs also sleeping around us. So this should be a very interesting hour of entertainment for you folks.
Feels right.
Yeah.
A lot of life in here.
But before we dive into everything we want to talk about today, about our co-living situation, we like to show a little gratitude. So, Jilly, we'll have you start off and we'll just kind of go around the room here to show a little gratitude.
Kumbaya, let's do it.
All right.
I am grateful for the weirdness that is my sister and I.
Oh.
We were taking barefoot walks around our neighborhood safely on the sidewalks, not going too far. And Lucille loves singing Oompa Loompa song. And just like in childhood, you know, where I start, Randi finishes, you know, and I started making up my own riddles and Randi would finish them and they would rhyme and they would be on point every time. And we're just like giggling and walking like crazy people around the neighborhood. And I love it. You can't describe what a relationship is. It's just a feeling. And I'm not going to get emotional right now.
Oh, man.
There's alcohol involved.
Jill's going to start the podcast off already crying.
But
Holy crap.
It just feels right. Like, it's us. You know, there's no one else that can replace Randi and just be that weirdo with me. And she is. So, I am grateful for Randi.
That is awesome.
What about you?
I am grateful for this team right here.
We are a freaking team.
We are a team.
Yeah.
And we'll talk more about it, but I mean, we're all here to help and support each other, pick each other up when we need it, help out around the house. Like, we're going to talk about a lot of this stuff, but I mean, I'm really grateful for you, and I'm glad that we're able to sit down and do this podcast and really, what better time when we're all quarantined together than to,
talk about how we're all quarantined
exactly how this is all working out. So, no, but seriously, like, I'm grateful for both of you and for doing this podcast, but more importantly for being the best roommates that we could possibly ask for. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about this a little bit further. So, we'll go pass it along. Mark?
All right.
What are you grateful for?
Well, when you asked me about it earlier, present company included, I was just thinking about so many things I am grateful for in my life, but probably the most important one is family and friends that I've had. I mean, people always want to bitch about people that like stab them in the back and all these negative influences they've had in their life, and I've been really fortunate to not have very much of that.
A lot of drama-free.
A lot of drama-free, and I'm sure some friends and family probably tried to get me into stuff that inadvertently wouldn't have been the greatest thing, but great parents, great brothers and sisters, in-laws. Obviously, Randy, Jill kind of stole that.
Yeah.
I'll just try to
Jill
top
tends
that.
to steal my gratitude half the time too. So
that's the nice thing about third position here is I can say I'm more grateful for Randy than Jill is, and babe, to you.
Oh shit,
Jill, Randy, the pressure cooker situation here.
Oh, well, I was pretty much going to go on the same line that you did, so we're kind of just repeating each other.
All of us.
Except I'm sure
This is the sappy podcast
somewhat,
episode. Yeah.
I'm sure it's somewhat for different reasons. No, I'm just really grateful for, like this whole, like Jill and I were talking about this the other day, that like being quarantined, or quote unquote quarantined, because I do go out to work for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, like I'm just someone that just really doesn't like alone time and doesn't really, like I would call Jill when she would be like on her way home from somewhere and I'd say, hey, what are you doing? And she's like, no, I'm just on my way home. And I'm like, well, I want to go to Target. And she's like, okay, just go. And I'm like, no, I don't want to just go. I want to wait for you. When are you coming home? I'll be home in half an hour. Just go. And I'm like, no, I'll wait for you. I'll wait for you. You can do things by yourself, right? I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to. I'll see you soon. Bye. But yeah, so I'm really grateful that like we have this situation because I'm not by myself because I don't really like being by myself. Like Reese is cool and everything, but sometimes I just walk up to Jill and just hand her Reese, and I'm like, okay, I'll see you in 5 minutes.
You can't do that with Reese. You can't just walk up to Reese and hand him Jill.
No,
Doesn't work that
unfortunately. But yeah, so very grateful for like that we have each other.
Well, we've had a lot of practice with like the getting snowed in for 5 days together.
Oh, yeah,
like that,
that's
those
right.
are mini quarantines. But I mean, you showed your colors when you and I did the ski shot of wild turkey, and it was like, yeah, that was go time. So no, we've had a lot of practice for this this moment here. So no, that's awesome. And again, I think we're really grateful to have such great roommates. And that's what we're going to talk about. So, Jilly, you want to get this thing kicked off?
Yeah. Can I start off with a quote?
Sure.
Because that's what I do.
You're the quote queen.
I know. I found various things, but there was one that kind of really stuck, I think, with our situation to kind of start off with. And it said, no matter the reason for co-living, the movement attracts a certain type of personality, one that is curious, open, and ready for change. And I feel like that describes all of our personalities pretty well.
Hell yeah.
I feel like we're all very open. We're all adaptable. We're all just fucking getting along. Like,
Well, we have to be very open for all of this to work, too. Like, we really can't hide anything from each other. I mean, it is, I don't want to say it's a small house, but I mean, we're all within this same space. And so we know what's going on, and we're here to pick up and support each other when we need to. We're here to make fun of each other, which happens a lot, You
gotta have thick skin in this house.
You have to have very thick skin to live in our household. But I mean, everybody understands that, and, everyone dishes it out just as much as they receive it, but it's all part of it. But I like what they said is that it is a movement. And I really, truly believe that because of the way, like the whole situation is, and you guys feel free to chime in on this as well. But I mean, it's very hard for people our age to put a down payment on a house right now. And, particularly coming out of college with so much debt or, with now really with the way that the economy's going, it's just really difficult. And we have to come up with unique ways to make things work and try to make things as easy as possible so that we can still enjoy life. So and I feel like this situation has helped all of us out, as far as achieving what we want to achieve, professionally, personally, as a family. So yeah, it's definitely a movement.
Yeah.
I feel moved. Certainly.
Well, I think like fashions, like we were talking about this earlier, how like fashions come back, like everything comes full circle. Like the bell bottoms, they became the flares.
Yes.
Like the only thing that hasn't come back yet that I'm crossing my fingers for is the Janko jeans and the ball chain necklace.
Oh my God.
Which
I think they're
very
choking
well.
as
The
of now.
90s are the 90s are next to make a comeback. Like the
true.
80s have made a comeback, so the 90s are definitely coming
Scrunchies
back
are
pretty soon.
I
so in right now.
so fetch.
Jelly.
But yeah, like I think like there's a reason why single family homes like that are being built now are called single family homes, because like people used to live together. Like you lived with your parents when you got married. It was kind of just assumed that like, okay, my parents are gonna live with us, like Mom and Pap. They lived with, I think it was Pap's parents for a little bit. Like, that was something that was common, like multi-family homes, not
I
just
think
a single family.
It was a
pre-World
norm.
War II,
Yeah.
it was definitely very common for multiple generations to live in one household. And then like the 50s came around, and it was just like you had to have the home with the picket fence and everything like that. I mean, what was it? The Levittvilles that popped up in New York were all part of that movement for people to be, just families, single family homes. So yeah, I mean, that happened in the 50s. And I feel like you said, trends are starting to come back now. And, it's going to be a trend with our generation.
Well, definitely. I was reading all the articles when I was putting in co-living. It was like millennials are starting to more co-living, even when it comes to working environments, like just more of the people in the company, like being together more often. And I didn't even realize it was a movement until I started researching. And I'm like, oh shit, like we're part of this, I guess.
I thought you were just living with your
Cool.
sister.
Yeah, right?
I just thought I just never left my sister ever. Yeah, that's a fun fact. We've never lived apart from each other for 33 years.
I don't want to see the day that actually happens when you two
oh my God,
it's journey your separate ways.
It's going to be terrible. When I moved out for like a year, it was awful. It was so terrible.
That's right. You did have a year break from each other when you moved down to Florida for a year.
Yeah, and then when you guys came to visit, and then when she left, like that time, that would just like reopened the wound. It was just it was so terrible.
See, I wasn't
like,
there with you
God.
guys because I left early. And so I didn't see the goodbye that you two had when I guess she dropped you off at the airport, but I'm sure it was it was emotional.
It was.
They arrived at the airport.
They're
6 hours
reliving it
early.
right now.
Yeah, I think I missed saying goodbye to her, so I had to like text her, and I was crying at the same
that's
time.
right.
It was bad. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we pretty much.
Let's not relive that.
Well, and
no?
I just can't right now. I mean, she's done that before. Where like when we leave for trips. Like I remember one time leaving for I can't remember where I was going. So one of my international trips with Burry, and she was coming home from something. We just missed each other, and like we literally passed cars. Like as I was on my way to the airport, and she called me and she was like, "Are you leaving? Are you leaving?" And I was like, "Oh no!" Like her voice already started going. So then I started
Oh,
crying,
my goodness.
and I was like, "Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta be at the airport, 2 hours early." And she's like, "But I didn't say goodbye to you. Anything could happen." And I was like, "Oh God!" And then like Mom's driving me, and she's like, "You need," like she can kind of hear you, and she's like, "You need to get off the phone," like because Mom gets emotional. I was like, "Okay, yeah, I'll be back. But I didn't get to hug you. What if that's the last time?" I'm like, "Okay, you're going too far, Jill. Like we gotta go.
Too far.
Can't do it."
Yeah, no, you guys have quite a unique relationship, and the fact that let's see, you guys have been living together for your 33, 33 years minus the 1 year you were in Florida. I mean,
Yeah.
this is pretty cool stuff. You don't see
hell of a
that.
bond.
I mean,
We're
you really
setting
don't
some
see
kind of
that.
record.
Yeah,
There's gotta be some kind of record.
there's got to be some kind of record.
Yeah, and kudos to you two for being able to, wiggle your way into that and like be okay with it, because I know sometimes it's probably
the stars really had to align for us to kind of continue this whole situation in this household. And you know, we kind of talked about it at the beginning of our introduction, is that, you know, this was a house that's been in, you know, you guys have been here since 93, both you and Jill. And we were really lucky enough to be able to buy out your parents and still have this house where a lot of memories were shared with, you know, both of you. And now we're making more memories with our kids. And so it's a really cool situation that we have here. And you know, it's just, I don't know, not a lot of people can say that they have this kind of experience, but I mean, I think it's just
super few.
Yeah, it's really cool. So yeah. Do you want to dive into some of the questions that our listeners have given us? Because they want to know the dirty secrets that we're hiding here.
Dirty secrets, yeah. Well,
the co-living secrets.
One of the questions was, are they on board with the simplified and minimalist, in quotes, life as well? Or is that a conflict? So because we have this podcast, like obviously we're very intentional with how we live, and we've gotten rid of a lot of things that didn't align with our values. And they were just wondering, do you guys feel the same way, or do you guys have a different mindset of the way of living? And it was one of those things where I said that, I think someone like commented too, and I was like, I feel like we have the same values.
Similar.
Like we both value the same things, but I don't know if you guys want to, like, what do you think about that?
Go ahead.
I was say I don't want to say I'm a pack rat, but I'm one of those. I still have boxes of shit from like middle school, probably, and it's not even important shit. It's like pens and like just weird.
Pens?
It's like
Pens?
weird shit that came off of a desk years and years ago, and you guys have been more than accommodating in terms of like, no, you know, we just want you to be comfortable. You're living here; it's your house too. So I try to keep it as consolidated as possible, but I mean. No, there's been no conflict for me. You guys like, you know, yeah, whatever you got to do, whatever you got.
Sure, just
the only
Nick's
conflict,
eyes twitching, and he's like, yeah, just put your shit in the garage. That space that I just cleared out.
Yeah,
That's fine. Yeah, just stack them so I can't see over top of them. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, exactly. Here's your table.
I would say though, like, I mean,
it wouldn't have been so bad, I don't think, especially with garage stuff, if I wouldn't have had to empty an entire work truck inside of like 3 hours and make it not a tripping hazard.
We always say that the garage is a work in progress anyway, so
True.
Just forever.
Yeah.
I'd say like we have the same values. I would say that you guys are a little bit more passionate. I wouldn't say extreme, because extreme sounds like, oh my gosh, they're probably like, someone could probably get the wrong
They're
like,
throwing
vibe.
stuff away right now.
Like they're like,
no, I
would
haven't
say
pulled
you
a dumpster in the
guys-
driveway yet and just started throwing shit out.
No, I'd say that you guys are a little bit more intentional about it. Like you guys really do like.
Well, you keep up with it. You like
Yeah.
you purchase intentionally. You don't just go buy stuff.
Yeah, and I feel like you guys purge more frequently, and I'm like, no, I just did that like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And you guys are like, every month you're like, hey, let's go through this. I'm like, you just did that. Like, why are you going through that again? Like, it is surprising
You
how
didn't throw
quickly.
anything out, Randy. That's why. You threw out shit.
Jill gives me a hint every so often, and like we'll put a trash bag in my room, and it's like, hey, we're donating stuff, like
To the trash.
yeah, like put shit in here.
To
Like,
Purple Heart.
at one-
It's a good call.
Yeah. At one point in time, I like hid 3 side tables in my room because
You did.
I was worried that it was gonna get like it was gonna like somehow disappear, because that's sometimes how it happened. It was like, she's not gonna miss this, and it was like, and I'm sure there's things that I still haven't missed, and I haven't said like, hey, where is that? And there will come a day, maybe it could be tomorrow, could be a decade later, but I'm sure there will come a day where I'm like, where is this? And then Jill's like, we got rid of that like so long ago.
I mean, we've really tried to. I mean, I think when we really first started this whole minimalism thing, like, I think we were ready to just get rid of everything and just like throw it all out. And obviously, there's a lot of stuff, you know, from that you have that you cherish, and you know, it was an interesting time because we just had stuff from multiple households in this
Yeah.
you know house, and particularly in the garage, and you know, it just had to go we had to go through it. You know, so I don't think we've thrown anything out that you didn't know about.
No, and I think
I'm sure you have.
it's
Now's the time to say it. Come clean.
and I think I mean it seems to be easier to like get rid of other people's stuff, but in the long run, like it's a lot worse because then it's like you don't build trust and you don't have a good relationship with that person if you're like, well, I'm going to get rid of your shit anyway because it's driving me nuts. It's like, you know what? I have to know that everyone's timeline is different and everyone's journey is different. So it's as long as what I'm doing makes sense to me. And it's like we do have boundaries. Like I might look in Mark and Randy's bedroom once in a while and I'll be like, you've got a lot of baskets of clothes. It's like, you know what? It's really none of my goddamn business. It's like, that's their bedroom and
But
that's
to
their
be
space.
fair, you're right. We do have a lot of baskets.
But at the same time, like
not wrong.
I had to tell myself, like, it's okay. You know, it's all right. And the fact that, yes, we own this whole house, but yes, you guys share one bedroom. And I keep thinking about that. Like, it's not
even a master either. Think about that. Can I start storing stuff in your closet?
No. Yeah. But I had to be.
We have an attic that you can use.
You know, I feel like.
Yeah, we'll just put some cedar panels up. Hey.
But I never want to make you guys feel like what you guys are doing is wrong because it makes sense. Like whatever you guys are doing makes sense to you, and whatever we do makes sense to us. And
Oh, what we do still doesn't make sense to us, but we keep doing it anyway.
Figuring it out.
I love you guys so much.
Yeah, we have baskets of. The problem is like, I decided to choose someone that's like 5 times worse than me. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, so that really didn't do me very well.
See, but I don't have like all the furniture and everything you have. Like everything that I have is purpose driven. It is a lot of clothes because if they still fit, they're potential work clothes.
But it's not as much clothes as I have though. Like you're forever
I'd be
telling me
willing to
like
bet
this
you
is
that
my
by
section,
weight, I'd be willing. No,
and I'm like,
I'd be willing to bet
You're
you that by
crossing
weight,
over.
I probably have more clothes than you do.
oh maybe.
But it's all like undershirts, underwear. I've got a legitimate entire laundry basket full of socks. They could just be socks, I'm sure.
What?
Yeah.
It's a lot of socks.
So I haven't seen this basket then yet.
Yeah.
It's hiding somewhere.
Well, it's like half of that one drawer is socks, and that drawer's like 8-10 inches deep. And it's like when I do all of my laundry, it's like just socks.
That's impressive.
How do you
It's
do?
not.
Do you do like
It-
for
well,
me?
it was-
When I do laundry, it's one load and done. Like, are you a multiple
No.
load?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
not like I separate. It's because I don't do laundry for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, see, that's
Because
my
there
problem.
was a long time, especially when I like first started getting into plumbing, where I was working so much that I'd be like, man, it's fucking 9:00. I'm not going to start doing laundry. I'm gonna go to Walmart and I'd buy new packs of socks and underwear, and I would do it every like 2 months.
Are you serious?
I wish
I'm dead
everybody could
serious.
see Jill's
I'm
face
dead
right
serious.
now.
I'm dead
I
serious.
can't
And,
believe
like,
it either.
I don't have
And
time to wash
just-
clothes, but I have time to buy new
It
clothes.
wasn't. It
That is a
wasn't that
guy
I
thing
didn't
to
have.
do, though.
Yeah, it wasn't that I didn't have time to wash clothes. It was that I had just finished like my fourth 16, 18-hour day, and I'm like, I'm not going home because anytime I used to wash laundry, I'd sit down on the couch outside of the washing machine and pass the fuck out to the hum of like the dryer or the washer, and it would never
That
go in
doesn't
the
sound
dryer.
like you, honey.
Yeah, it's totally.
That doesn't sound like you at all.
It's 100%.
Passing
but-
out, sitting up.
Sitting up, sometimes.
Lots
I
of
just-
sarcasm here.
Sometimes,
In case you didn't know that.
Sometimes I just throw it in the washer and I'd go out and go, man, I'm so tired. And before I could even like hit the button, I'd already be asleep on the carpet. Like, so that's how I ended up with all of that stuff. So yeah, I guess I am 5 times worse than you with the junk.
I love
But-
the history of the socks now.
but
Now I
mine
know.
is-
History of the
Yeah,
socks. I haven't
a lot
seen
of those have been burned.
socks.
I mean, like would literally have been burned. But there's just a long time. That's I had baskets just of like under stuff so that I could go to work.
At least I appreciate that you're clean.
Yeah.
So that's good. That
Yeah,
you're
I
not like
can't-
rolling around
I
with
could
crusty
do-
underwear and
No.
stinky
Not
socks.
in a long time.
Not in a long time.
Those are for special occasions.
All right. So the next question that we got from our listener was, do you eat most dinners together? And I will say, you know, it's been, I don't say we don't eat dinner together every night. Like we have dinner around the same time, but usually like during the weekdays, like Jill and I kind of eat dinner at the same time. And then you guys eat dinner when you eat dinner because your guys' schedules are very different where Jill and I, like, particularly when we were working, when you were working at school, like we were home by 5:30 and we would eat, but then you were working,
Till God knows
plumbing,
why.
and so sometimes you'd be home at 5:30, sometimes you'd be home at 8, and then with Randy's schedule as a PT, you would be home sometimes at 4:30, or sometimes you'd be home at 7:30. So I would say that the nights that we ate dinner the most, was on the weekends, but we all had to kind of fend for ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, not really fend for ourselves.
I was gonna say I think we were individually, probably you and I probably benefited the most. We didn't have to fend for anything. When I came in, there was always something on the stove, which again I'm very thankful for. But yeah, I wouldn't say fend for ourselves. Yeah, lately, even before the virus, I'd say we generally, if we're not all eating at the same time, we're all in the kitchen at the same time.
Right.
Whether you guys are feeding Lucille or taking her out for like the 7th time, like she comes
like
in,
she's a dog, taking her out for the 7th time. Outside.
Like Randy and I will get a chance to sit down and eat, or feed him and eat at the same time, and you guys will come in. It's like, oh hey, 10, 15 minutes outside. You're like, yeah, sure, let's go for another one. See you guys. And yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the nice thing is, we still make the island work, even though the island only has 4 chairs. We're making it work, and it does its job. Like, we kind of do shifts or whatever, or if we do get a chance to eat together, like some of us are standing up, some of us are sitting down. It's a very cool island. Like, I think it really just brings us all together.
It's a big ass island.
Yes.
Which
Good purchase, Jill.
Yeah.
aids in its utility.
Oh God, that was a whole thing in itself. Just getting the island.
Oh, it was a long wait. Yes.
Yes.
The island's coming, and then it wasn't coming. I'm like, damn it, I think this is a hoax. Like, I don't think this island's ever going to make it.
The Amish were supposed to have made this island.
The guy's going to ship you some little miniature island.
Like, the nice thing, like, especially like during this quarantine, like, it's been really nice that we have had more meals together, and everyone's really done their fair share as far as like cooking goes, or if we're doing takeout, like running and grabbing it or ordering it or whatever. Like, it's been a very, we've all helped each other out. And those nights where we do order food and have dinner as a family are awesome. Like, we hang out, we either make cocktails, or you can order cocktails to go now. Like, it's a brave new world out there. I mean, it's awesome.
Well, that kind of leads us to the one question. It says, do you have a cook versus clean schedule? Like, whoever cooks the meals cleans up or not? So I guess, like, what are our cooking and cleaning rhythms?
That's not fair at all. The real MVPs are you guys and your mom. Definitely making sure I'm not eating Pop-Tarts and chips and salsa for dinner every night, which would have been my go-to. Not Pop-Tarts. God, I haven't had Pop-Tarts.
Chips and salsa.
Chips and salsa for dinner, or, an entire
3
pound
cans
of pasta.
of tuna fish.
They're just, whatever. Like, really bacheloring it. And you guys have made sure that there's always a dinner here. And then we clean up. Sometimes you clean up too.
Oh, stop it.
Sometimes you clean up.
I feel like we're pretty good at that. That the person that cooks.
Yeah, you're not supposed
doesn't clean up. And like that person knows that, and it's like we all pick up. I feel like we never have to say something about it. It's always like
somebody's got it.
Yeah.
And I think we all do a really good job of, like, if we eat dinner early, we'll do our dishes, and then if you guys eat dinner later than us, which is pretty common, that you'll do the dishes that for your left. Stuff, and it's just
the pots and the pans.
Yeah, I mean it's and it really doesn't even have to be talked about. It's just like something that we've all done that goes without saying, which I think is really great that we don't have to have those kinds of conversations. And I know that not everybody is as blessed as that, where they have to constantly ask somebody to do things. But I mean, it's just, we've done a good job of just recognizing that somebody does the work, and that, now it's time for somebody else to do things. And, we all have, we're all dealing with kids too. So, obviously if you're nursing,
and shit happens. Like, sometimes it doesn't get done. And sometimes, like, I'll wake up and I'll come home or I'll come downstairs and I'll be like, there's still stuff out. But it's like, I've done this where I want to go to bed early and I've just kind of left shit out and I
Yeah.
just go upstairs and pass out. It's like, so
It'll be there in the morning.
It's like,
don't
it's
worry
not
about
my place to say, like, why didn't you do your shit? It's like, because we're all human. Like, we're not all perfect. Like, every day's a different day. And I make
pretty
mistakes all the
close,
time,
though.
too.
Pretty close.
So even if,
Aside from my 4 baskets, I'm pretty close.
but I feel like we're all pretty good at not complaining or saying, like, why didn't you do this? It's like, you know what? It's like we all ebb and flow with each other and we all know that we have kids and sometimes it gets done and sometimes it doesn't. And, like, that's okay. Anytime I see a bib of Reese's,
The bibs.
the many multiple bibs, it's like, if I didn't see bibs, like, that would make me so sad. Like, bibs means there's a sign that Reese is in this home, and that's fucking awesome. So it's like, anytime I see something that, like, it might drive me nuts and start my eye twitching, like Nick does, I kind of
Damn.
I just kind of reframe it. Like, if I didn't see this, as this means that that person wouldn't be living in this house anymore, which would make me really sad. Like, ultimately, and that kind of leads us to another question. I know, Nick, it's your turn, but one of the questions was, like, do you see co-living being short-term or do you see it being long-term? And that's a decision, like, that I don't know how to answer. So I don't know. Like, I know you guys have goals and, you know, I don't know what to say about that.
I'm actually really curious.
I mean, I've already said my part on that. So Mark and I have, like, talked about it, that, like, eventually we want, like, more land, and around here that's not really a thing, is
Well,
like having a good...
It's a thing
It's
if you
really
got
expensive.
6 figures.
Yeah.
We want a little bit more property. We want to be a little bit more space from our neighbors, which is definitely not a thing around here.
Right.
You're kind of on top of each other. And all the new developments, it's like you could just give a high five to your neighbor, which is just crazy. So we just want a little bit of space. So we talked about, like, you know, maybe buying land and building on it. Now, my idea of building on it is building a huge home that has 2 suites on each side, one for you guys and one
Right,
for us.
wings.
So for
Like the White House, the East Wing and the West
Yeah.
Wing.
And then we'd revisit, but with on a farm.
It sounds like Beauty and the Beast.
We kind of have an
Right?
East
Yes.
Wing, West Wing thing
It's
going
what we
here.
do.
But, yeah. With a very big co-living space downstairs.
Exactly.
But yeah, so for me, I mean, I like it. So for me, it's like I would like it to be
Oh, no,
long term.
I definitely like it.
Like what does Dad call it? The commune, the compound,
Compound.
The
Did
compound.
he call it the
compound.
I think he did call it the commune once or twice, and then he was like, "Wait, isn't that a different thing?" I was like, "I don't know, Dick. I don't know. What are you talking about?" He was making some other joke, and it was some small like little hiccup of his. And he's like, "Wait, what was I saying? I don't know. Anyway."
But yeah, so I mean, I think it definitely, but still being in the same spot. Like, I like the common area. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like the kitchen and the living room. Like, because those are spaces that I don't really want to
I
necessarily.
mean, I would say that we spend most of our time in this room or in the kitchen.
Yeah, like Mark just said today that he forgets that there's a basement. Like we have a full the whole square area of this floor
There's a half bath.
is
There's a queen
downstairs.
bed.
Yeah.
Is downstairs.
A 3-piece sectional
And-
couch and
Yeah.
Which the downstairs
There's
is
a
now my
TV,
office
right.
under this quarantine. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't been in the basement in such a long time, and now I'm down there every day during the work week, and it's just like, oh, we do have extra space in this
I
house.
almost fell down those steps the other day because I thought I was going into the garage. And it just was like one of those, it just slipped my mind.
But yeah, so it's like, I mean, that's just something that, like, we have that whole extra floor of living space, and we were
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, like if
And we
you know,
still
since we're
choose to be on.
yeah, we still kind of gravitate towards each other. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so it's kind of funny that it's like we had that space, and we're like, yeah, so you know. Like Jill and I were talking today that like you and like Nick and I are pretty much the same in that like we're like I don't really need much alone time.
Yeah.
And like you and Mark are like, you know, like I like a little bit of alone time. And we were like, okay, well that bottom floor's perfect. Like, you know, if anybody wants to escape, like there's a TV down there. Now the TV doesn't work down there, but like that's the
Yeah,
funny
that
thing
TV's
is
got to go to the
that
dump.
TV like became shot and nobody knew it until Dad came
Yeah.
and was staying down in the quote unquote guest suite.
I can't
and,
watch the game. I can't
Yeah.
see shit.
Yeah, like there was
Maryland.
snow all over the TV, and we were like, well, it was working last time I was down here, which I can't remember when it was, but like, you know, that there is that whole space down there where it's like, okay, if you want to escape and kind of have alone time. You know, it's
And
there,
there's
but
that gym down.
Yeah,
There's that gym down.
there's a
If you
home
want
gym.
alone time, and especially if you're frustrated, and that's why you want alone time. It's like that's the place.
I mean, there is a punching bag down there.
There is.
And every
I
once
hear
in a
whenever
while, yeah.
whenever he goes down and punches it around.
Yeah.
Because you can hear it up here.
Oh, yeah. No,
It's like
yeah. Oh, and it's right under this room, too.
yeah.
So,
It's like, okay, how long's that gonna last?
yeah.
He'll
but-
tucker himself out any minute now.
Nope,
any minute now.
it's still going on.
Second wind.
And I come up. And you're like, we were scaring the shit out of Mook. What was that? We hit the back. Yeah, it was at the back.
But yeah, I know, like, you know, when the day does come, you know, if it comes, but no, when it does come, you know, then, you know, that's the day that, you know, Jill and I kind of reevaluate too. And it's like, you know, the space for the three of us is way too big. And, you know, would I like more land? Probably. So maybe we find a smaller space on more land, or we do the whole commune thing on your land.
Yeah,
So
there you go.
who knows?
That's what I'm talking
there's a
about.
lot of,
I'm-
a lot of opportunity in the future.
I'm looking for 20 acres, you know?
Ooh.
Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Actually did find something down in Huntington. It's 20 acres, and it was actually
That's
two
Calvert
houses.
County, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's actually 2 houses on the property. One was 1 bed, 1 bath, though.
But how far are they apart?
It's on 20 acres.
Yeah, but I need them
they
to be
share like
closer.
a driveway. They're pretty.
Randy needs
yeah.
them to share a
Randy does not want to walk
kitchen.
20 acres to go see her sister.
Can I build
Like,
a walkway?
when I wake
You-
up, I want coffee to be ready
yeah.
and someone down there on the couch
You
greeting
would
me.
be there before you got tired of whistling from like our door to theirs or something. Like it was pretty close. But
Yeah, we're
that's what we're talking
on
about.
3/4 of an acre here on our little plot.
Is that really what it is?
Yeah.
I would have definitely
I
thought it
believe
was
it.
less than that. But
And I
I
think
believe it.
if this situation has taught me anything, it's that you think you need a lot of space in your home, but really it's like we said, the basement has never been used unless we have company. And if I need space, it's like I go outside,
yeah,
or I
true.
go for a walk, or I
There's
go to
a lot
the
of
park.
space out there.
Yeah, or I go in my bedroom. Like, I love my bedroom. Like, I don't have to have all these extra rooms
Yeah.
and extra space to have alone time. It's just, I think, I don't know, we've kind of been trained that, like, you know, we talked about it before, like, they designate certain, like, this is your living room, this is your family room. It's like,
This
why
is where
don't-
you go to sit.
Yeah, it's like, why do we need
Just
all
sit.
of these?
Don't lay
designated-
down. Just sit.
This is your bathroom.
Like, all I need is a kitchen,
tell me where to
a
do
space
my
where we can all gather together, and a bedroom, and that's it. Like, that's all I need. All the extra stuff, it's like, I think we've been societal norms, like, that's
Yeah.
how homes are built. Like, we think we have to have it. It's like, yeah, don't really have to have that. Like,
Yeah.
Well, and we've talked about it before, is like, you know, we turned our quote unquote, the room that's supposed to be the dining room into a butler's pantry. You know, it's where the dogs eat, it's where we keep all of our extra flour and stuff like that. It's where our coffee station is.
Yeah.
And then we changed our, what's supposed to be a living room in the front there into our dining room. But I mean, we don't even use that to sit down and eat. Like, we've used that dining room table as Jill's office. And then every now and then I've used it as my office until I've been quarantined and now working in the basement.
And Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So, you know, we really utilize the kitchen, the family room here, and then our bedrooms. Like, you know, and so it's actually a really unique situation that we have a pretty decent sized house and we're not even utilizing all the areas in it.
Anybody else wants to come co-live?
Yeah. We have a
Hit us up.
basement.
Simplified Chaos.
Turn that into a suite, or we do an Airbnb when all this quarantine's over. We're really close to the airport, so it makes a lot of sense for most of you folks.
There's a
Let's see how low we can get that
tryout.
rent. Divided 8 ways.
So I've got a very interesting question for you guys. So, does it get really super awkward when Jill and I fight?
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So people are gonna hate this, but like, you guys don't fight, and
No.
we don't fight. Mm-hmm. Like, we just kind of have little, like, and I think, like, this goes for, like, both couples. Like,
Yeah.
we have little playful tiffs.
Yes.
They
And
get to
it's
the
like-
root of the problem.
Yeah.
And we both take it in stride with a grain of salt. Like, okay,
But it's definitely not
maybe
a
I
fight.
was being a little bit of a dick. Maybe I wasn't. Maybe you're wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I think maybe that comes back to that being open-minded as a co-living person, that's the kind of person you are that,
Yeah.
you know, it's not, what did I just do the other day? Or what did you do the other day? You were being bratty. That's what it was.
Not.
I'm sorry. You were being, quote, bratty. And just the way you were asking me for things, and maybe it was just what I told myself.
The demanding thing.
Yeah.
And Jill supported you on it and was like,
Jill led the cause. Jill led the crusade on that one. Because I was thinking it.
Jill.
I was thinking it, and Jill went, "Whoa, demanding!" And like, but again, she's your sister. She's known you for so long. Instead of me just going, "Nah, it's all right," I went, "Yeah, a little." And then when you looked at me like, "No, I'm not," I kind of did have to think. How long have I been awake now? You know, what time did I get up this morning? Am I maybe being just a little touchy? You know, you kind of just, you do have to be able to second guess yourself in a good way. That, you know, your reaction might be wrong. Think about it. That kind of thing. But I mean, I don't even know if I've seen you guys have to second guess your own reactions to each other. You guys get along very well. And like Randy said, most people are going to hate hearing that and be like, you guys are fucking liars. No way. But, you know.
And that's how it
and
was
who knows,
when...
maybe we're all just building it up, you know. We're just building up and building up for some massive fight. But so far, so good. You know?
And then you'll see us on the news.
Yeah.
House.
It'll be a completely different
Co-living
podcast.
home.
But I think
Only
that's what
half
makes
of it
this whole
remains.
thing so easy is that, you know, I think we do a good job of recognizing our significant others' signs, and when they're feeling irritable, like we don't push those buttons.
Sometimes.
As much as I wanted to. I held back really. Oh, I got the thumbs down from my wife. But I mean, you know, it's great that, you know, that there's. I think we're all very good at communicating with each other. Like you and Mark are very good at communicating with each other. Jill and I are very good at communicating with each other. Obviously, you two are really good. Randy and Jill are great at communicating with each other. They've been doing it for 34 years.
Finishing each other's limericks.
So I think that really eliminates a lot of the possibilities for arguments because we are open and because we can talk without feeling judged or anything like that. I think that goes a long way as far as making sure that this whole thing works out. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Do you concur?
Do you concur?
Do you concur, Doctor?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, but like that's how it was with you guys when it was just me. You know what I mean? Because I lived here before Mark. Mark lived here. You know, we co-lived when it was just little old me.
I've been living here for almost 6 years now with you guys. It's crazy to think about that.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome to our humble
Still a
abode.
rook.
But yeah, like, I mean, and I think like that's probably, I mean, Mark was, when you guys like got together and got married and stuff like that, like one of the things in my speeches to you was about how you taught Jill how easy like love should be. And it's like totally true. Like it just, I don't know, it's just never really realized that before. And I was like, I just didn't think that was going to happen for me. I was like, I'm just going to be a cool aunt. Like when Jill got pregnant and everything, I was like, I'm just going to be a cool aunt. And then Mark showed up and like
Swooped you off your feet.
yeah.
Swooped. I think I said it wrong.
Swept it
I
in.
did both.
Swept it in.
I did both.
Actually, you know what? I think that's a good question. Like, your guys' story is actually pretty unique. I think you guys should kind of tell it, like, how you two came to be about. Like, I mean, I thought it's a pretty unique story.
Oh, Mark and I?
Yeah.
Oh, but that takes so long, though. Well,
You can do the cliff
only
notes.
because, yeah, but you know me, like,
See.
I start telling a story, and then, like, it's like a tree. Like, I'll start off, like, at the base, and then I go off on a branch, and then I, like, stay on that branch for, like, what seems like an hour. And then I'm like, wait, well, what did I start with? Let me get back to, like, the trunk of the tree. Where was I? Like, what was I saying?
Yeah, it might be for another podcast. One on love only.
Oh, yeah.
Long story short, been in love with her for a long time. 20 plus years. Never thought I had a chance. Caught up with her one day.
One day.
Through a sister and brother-in-law, friends of your hosts here, and got a chance to come over and hang out. She touched my knee, and I said, "That's a sign. We're gonna go walk the dogs together." And
she wants it.
She really wants to walk these dogs with me, so we're gonna walk these dogs. We're gonna walk them again and again and again, and then eventually I decided, all right, now's my chance. But yeah.
But I will say that Jill has a lot to live up to as far as the speech for you guys' wedding. Your speech was really good.
Randy knocked it out of the park.
No, she did a wonderful job. Yeah. So no pressure, Jill.
But you should probably sing it. And it should be original choreography.
I do believe the bride is allowed to have one request.
If your wedding even happens.
Yeah, no kidding.
Hey.
I'm just kidding. I'm
Wait,
really
you
hopeful.
because
You
of
can
That
do it.
is
You can do it at the
messed
courthouse if you want. We can bring the microphone.
Damn it, Mark.
We'll bring the microphone. I'm pretty sure I got a GoPro. We can post it to the website. It'll be great.
I'll make it happen.
a 5,
I'll
6,
improv that
7,
shit.
8. I think that's your best work, anyways.
Okay. Well, here's a very light one. What's your favorite part about co-living?
Ooh.
Not being alone.
Wow.
I know. That sounds like
So
like Rainey's
sad.
got real problems.
So sad.
That poor, sad, lonely girl.
She probably doesn't even like them. She's just so happy she's not alone.
Well, I mean, like, especially when you, like, when we started dating and everything, like, you work, and, like, even when you, quote-unquote, moved in here, and I say quote-unquote moved in here because, like, a lot of the times it seemed like you weren't home because you were just working such long
I was
hours.
sleeping here.
You were just, like, always gone. And it wasn't until I was like, I'm going to have a baby so that he has to come back here and spend more time. And so that's what I did. And so far,
That's what I
So far, it's been good.
Unless it was just you. I made this baby.
I did it.
I willed this baby to happen.
But,
And I gave him one of your dimples just so that you'd be pretty sure it's yours.
just one of them, though. But yeah, like, I don't know, probably the best thing for me is that, like, I don't have to be away from my sister, which is pretty awesome. But, so that's a huge plus for me because, like, at this point, I really don't know how to live without her. Yeah. It would be really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
mean,
she
you
said.
did it for a year, though.
That was a really, really bad year.
That was a shit year.
That was a really tough year.
You probably learned a lot, though, too.
Yeah, well, of course, like, you learn a lot. I mean, but a lot of stuff happened with our family in that year, too.
That's true,
You know,
yeah.
so it was just like, it was,
A big year. Yeah.
it just was very, of course, like, that's when things happen. It's like, all right, I've been around here I went to college around here, like I've stayed here. I'm just going to leave for just a year and I'll be back. And then it was like a bunch of, like, everything happened.
Hit the fan.
But yeah, it was like, and I think one of the things I said, like, when we would talk on the phone is I'd be like, I just want to, like, go to walk to Starbucks and get a coffee. And Jill would go, well, walk to Starbucks and get a coffee. And I'd go, no, I don't want to. You're not here. I don't have you to walk around and sip my coffee with. And she's like, so you don't really want to go get a coffee? I'm like, no, I don't want it for the coffee. I don't really want it for the coffee. I just, like, because we would go into Target and, like, we would get, like, a latte or whatever, and we'd walk around Target or whatever. And, like, we don't really do that anymore. But like, that was one of the things that we did. I'm like, well, I don't, like, Starbucks was, like, right down the street. She was like, you got a Starbucks right there when she came to visit. You got a Starbucks right there. Why don't you walk to Starbucks and get a coffee and walk around? I'm like, no, that sounds terrible. I'm by myself. This is awful. That's an awful idea.
You look like I'm casing the joint.
Mark, what's your favorite thing about co-living?
Well-stocked bar. You sure know your way around. No, there's...
I mean, that is
my
true, though.
favorite thing... See, I'm not good at this whole favorite thing. Like, just like with what I'm thankful for. Man. I love having dinner on the stove when I walk in. Because I have no problem. Like, I don't have to... I can feed myself with the absolute minimum. But it's so nice to walk in and be like, oh, yes, somebody made dinner. thank God. Bless this person. Bless everything about them. I hope everything goes their way. I hope their gas tank refills itself. And good company. I mean, truly, it's been working out really nice. Like, everything is kind of my favorite part about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a good answer.
Jilly, what's your favorite part about co-living?
It's just the sense of community that we have. Like, I cherish it a lot. And I always, like, when we were thinking about where we were definitely moving to Oregon until Lucille came into this world.
Yeah, we were about to interrupt this whole thing.
And reflecting on it, it definitely was kind of a escape mechanism. I think I just wanted to change. And that was a huge change, just to kind of escape kind of the feelings that I was feeling about not being able to get pregnant and all the shit that came with it. And then I almost convinced myself. I was like, yeah, it'll be cool not to see Randy all the time. Yeah, it'll be cool to live without Randy. Yeah.
He's like, what the fuck?
I was trying to like train myself. Like, yeah, I could. This is going to be cool.
Some space.
It's so different.
Even now, it sounds like you're trying to convince yourself.
Right? And now I'm like, I mean, I would probably have been fucking miserable. I would have got out there and that newness would have worn off. And then I'd be like, shit, I miss my family. I miss my friends. I miss Randy.
And Nick's kind of a jerk.
And Nick's no.
How did you let me do this?
I don't know. I think if I learned anything,
Damn, can you stack apart?
like, family is so important.
Yeah.
Like, I always choose family over anything. Like, I need a sense of community. I have to. So it's like, that's always in my brain. If we ever want to move or do something, it's like, where's that sense of community? Like, I have to have it. And if I don't have it, it's not going to work out. Because I feel like we are social beings. Like, we thrive on interaction with people that we care about, people we respect, people that we connect with. And I think it's really rare that we have this situation, and it's something not to be, I don't know.
You don't take it for granted.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, community for sure. What about you?
I mean, I think I want to echo what everybody said here in this room. It's there's not one favorite thing. That there's just multiple things. It's. I grew up playing baseball, and from the time I was 7, I've always been part of a team sport, and that's who I am. Like, in life, like at work, I'm a team player. In this household, I'm a team player. With my family, I'm a team player, and it's just nice to be surrounded by people who also have that same kind of mentality. Is that we're all in this together. Yes, you two, Jill and Randy, are family. Mark and I are kind of the outsiders who have come in, and
we're gonna take over.
We're gonna take over this whole household. But no, but that's the thing. Is like we've worked together as a team. We work to take care of these kids together. If we need you guys to watch Lucille, you, without question, say, yeah, we're happy to watch her. Same thing for Reese. It's we're happy to watch him whenever, so that if you guys want to go out on a date night, take 10 to 15 minutes to go upstairs and tidy up the room.
Get jiggy with it.
So many baskets.
But I mean, that's what's really cool about this thing is that, we're here for each other no matter what. Like, it's without question. Like, we can ask any one of us to do something, and it's always a yes. Yeah. It's like, yeah, how can I help you out? So just the team, the foundation that we built here, for me, is my favorite thing, is that, that we don't feel like we can't ask each other anything to help out around the house or anything. It's like, we're here for each other. We're going to do it on the drop of a dime. So that's what I got to say. I was really trying to make some people cry, but I can't do it.
Sorry, honey. You don't try. You just do it, honey.
Yep.
So there's one final question.
Ooh. It's the final question.
What are the most important boundaries to set?
There are no rules.
So, and I've kind of already mentioned this. For me, it's just keeping myself in check and not to push what I desire in anybody else, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, just to keep doing what I believe, and then it's almost like parallel play, like for kids. We're doing what we want to do, but we're side by side. Like, it's not like I'm joining in and like, you have to do it this way. It's like, And I think it took me a lot of practice not to do that, because since it's like my teacher nature too, like I'm always modeling and telling kids how to do things and what to do. And it's like, I got to pull back the reins, even being a mom. And it's like, I can't put my wants and needs and desires on you. I can't put my fears on you. I have to do what I think is best for me, and then just trust that through your environment and through what you see and what you think is best, that you're going to know what's best for you. And it's really difficult, but I feel like I'm getting better at it, just being a mom and just training myself not to put that on Lucille. And it's the same with adults. I think it's so easy to say you should do it this way. And it's like, but why? Like, I don't know what's best for that person. I don't know what's in their brain. I don't know what happened to them yesterday, or what conflicts are going on in their head, or what, it's so easy to try and do that. But I always have to take a step and be like, I have no fucking idea what's best for that person at all, So it's like just setting that boundary. Like, I'm going to keep doing what I think is best for myself, but I'm going to be there to help and support you with whatever you guys need. And if ever I step in and you think that I'm, trying to do that, it's like, keep me in check. So that way I'm like, okay, Jill, you need to stop and just slow the fuck down. But I think it's hard, because when you care about someone, you always want to push your desires on that person, or your wants, or what you think is best. And it's like, I can't do that, because I don't know what's best for you.
And because when you're happy, you're like, oh, like if they do this, they're going to be so happy like I am. And it's like, well, they could already be happy in their mess, in their room.
All of their socks and underwear.
Under their pile of socks.
I have to dive deeper into this obsession with socks. No, I'm just kidding.
I wish, man.
What else are they getting used for?
I guess that's my own personal boundary. Like that's all I can speak of, is just setting boundaries for myself to keep myself in check, not to impose on the way anyone else lives. Even Nick, like the way he does things is so different than I would. But it's like, you know what? That works for him. So why am I gonna
like his laundry?
Yes. His beautiful brain.
I do that Marie Kondo shit now. I won't go back.
Those are boundaries really everybody should just stick to. Just leaving other people well enough alone. It's not like this is anything different,
Yeah.
You know how to treat people. You know how to treat people. You know how to treat people. I think I know how to treat people. It's like, it's not that hard to just pick up after yourself and don't make other people like that. I feel like that's what it all boils down to. Anybody could co-live if they just picked up their own shit and handled their own shit and cleaned their own messes. Like, everybody could co-live. I mean, really, isn't that what a society is? It's not just the community inside a house. It's just like general pick up after yourself and everybody gets along.
Yeah.
And like you said, you don't jump in people's shit about how they fold their laundry. Like, that's such a stupid thing to start an argument over that. How can we extrapolate that to a societal?
I don't know. I said I was going to fold your laundry the other day, and you're like, you fold it wrong.
When did that happen? That was like
I'm just going to fold it and put it away. And you were like, but you fold it wrong.
No, that was that fun little tease that we do. Because if you're going to fold please don't ever stop doing my laundry because you think you're going to fold it wrong. I'll be fine. But no, I think
you bring up a great point, though, man.
Yeah, it's not so much about boundaries as it is understanding and just taking care of your own shit, like personal accountability. If you drop something, you made a mess, clean the shit up. If you accidentally offended somebody, tell them you're sorry. I could go on and on and on about that, but I don't think the whole idea of boundaries, nothing's different than how you should behave in everyday life. It's not like, oh, you guys own the house, so I should probably make sure I pick up the towel off of our bathroom floor. No, I should be picking up that towel anyway, No,
but I think I love what you said, how we act in this house is also the same way we need to act as a society, because I feel like, there's a lot of things that people could... like you said, it is about personal accountability and making sure that you're handling yourself. I think if we handle ourselves first and do the things that we're supposed to do, that those other things come naturally afterwards. That's why they always say on an airplane, when the masks come down, when the air pressure, put your mask on first and then help other people out. you can't help other people out if you don't help yourself first. And I think that a lot of that is, when it comes to boundaries, is very important, is just understanding who you are and how you can help within your room, then within the household, then outside of the household, and within society. Like it's just kind of like a hierarchy. It's like, but it all starts with you. And I think we all do very well with understanding that, hey, this is again, I kind of go back to the whole team thing. And I think that also helps too, like with personal, like it makes you want to kind of be a better person because you don't want to let the team down, which I think is a really cool thing about, this house. It's just like, okay, Jill likes doing certain things a certain way, or Nick likes doing things, or Mark likes doing things, or Randy likes it a certain way. And it's like, we try to go out of our way to help each other out, or do something that's really nice that we know that you would like, or that you would like, or that you would like. So I think it's just like, it goes to the whole societal thing. It's just like going out of your way just to be a nice person,
right?
Not being a dickhead, and just doing your part.
Yeah.
Like in Mark's case, buying Justin's peanut butter cups when you go to the grocery store.
As many as are in the store.
Yeah.
As many as they'll let me.
Yeah.
That's why they keep stocking up, man.
I'm waiting for the day that I walk in and somebody's like, just the person right there, like, what is that, customer service? It's just like, here's your box. Like, when I'm on my way in, before I pick up anything else, I'm going to be like, you're the guy that keeps buying us out of peanut butter cups. Here's your box. Take it. Just take it, put it in
It's
the
the peanut butter cup guy again.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it.
This guy has no self-control.
We certainly appreciate it.
Yeah, he sticks to the peripherals of the grocery store, but then he buys 40 packs of peanut butter cups. What is this guy's fucking problem?
It's like, this doesn't make any sense.
Right.
He does the peripheral of the store, but then he
guessing.
goes overboard on these peanut butter cups.
Natural peanut butter.
Yeah.
And it's dark chocolate.
Yeah.
It's practically a health
really
food.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's practically an
Especially
antioxidant.
Especially the way I read it.
Immune system supporting.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pantry staple.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I think so.
Now lick it and dip it in Himalayan pink salt.
Pink Himalayan pink
Yeah.
salt.
And I chase it with a glass of red wine for my heart. And then I eat a bunch of mushrooms for my brain.
You got it down pat, babe.
Mm-hmm. Look at me. I'm the epitome of health.
All right, gang. Well, this is the fun part of the episode. Not that this whole thing hasn't been fun.
Yeah.
But what we like to do to finish an episode is
Air our grievances.
Air our grievances.
hate you so much.
Festivus is in December, so we'll save it for Festivus season. We'll do a special Festivus episode. But we do a quote that resonates with you in this season of life, and we would like it if you guys would be willing to share with our listeners what your quote is. This is the quote of the day.
Mark's
All
shaking
right.
his head.
Oh, no.
So it's good.
We're going to have to do a little drum roll.
No, we don't have to do a
No drum roll?
No,
All
no
right.
drum roll.
Randy's got it up.
Okay, yeah. So my quote is, it's going to be stupid that I have to look it up on my phone, but I just didn't want to mess up the word. So it says, how lucky I am to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard.
Ooh.
It's from Winnie the Pooh. No, I just thought it just covered so many things. Like I've never had to say goodbye living situation to my sister, and having so much that you care about, like Mark and Reese. I love you too, Nick. So definitely
Love you too, Randy.
But just having so much that you're grateful for and that you're thankful for, and just kind of a more, I don't know, I look at that in terms of it's something said so simply, but loving having so much feeling for so many things makes you so terrified. And I think about that sometimes. Is that's sometimes the thing that scares me most, is having so much to lose, because I have so many things that I love. But at the same time, our mom, and I feel so grateful that I have those things that I fear losing. But at the same time, I'm deathly afraid of I could really just lock myself inside the house if I think about when we first had Reese. I was oh my gosh, I can't control everything that might happen to him. And like when Mark drives an hour to work or whatever, I'm like, just think about like all the cars on the highway. Like I never thought about that stuff before. When it was just me, I was like, I'm good. Like I'm all set. Like
Don't
when it's
worry
just
about them. I'm flying past them.
yeah. Like when it was just me, it was like, oh, like, you don't really think about that stuff. And then when you just have all these people that you love, and it's an amazing feeling day to day. It's an amazing feeling, but like, it's also terrifying at the same time. But the fact that I am so terrified, I'm also extremely grateful and thankful for that because, just kind of, it, yeah.
Feelings
But,
mutual.
But yeah.
I think motherhood does that to you too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You don't think of all of the worst case scenarios until you become a mother, and it's like,
Fatherhood.
my
It's
God.
the same thing with fatherhood too.
Is
Like,
it?
you just think of those. You like when you just see
But you guys
your
don't voice
daughter
it.
walking around. It's
true.
We're men.
No.
I need you to
Men in
voice
tights.
it,
I
so don't
want
feel
to
so
be-
crazy.
Well, because I want to be that, like,
The Rock.
that rock that you're like, look at him. He's just being a fucking rock over there. He's,
He's not moving.
Yeah, he's not moving. But then when I get rolling, good luck fucking stopping me, and I'm not worried about, at least I don't look like I'm worried about something in my way, but I'm like, man, I hope I get through that shit. Here we go. And I just keep fucking rolling at it, But no, yeah, that's terrifying. I mean, I've always, at least I've been blessed with good family and friends, and I have always considered like the days that they may not be with us, but at the same time, you kind of put that to the back of your mind. But then when you have like this thing in my arms, it's like, I can't, like, there are definitely days that, like, if this virus was something that was like going after kids, he'd be bubble wrapped and like, oh man, I can't even go down that. Like that's one thing let's go back. Let's start over. What I'm thankful for is the fact that if anything, kids have been relatively, I guess,
Largely spared from this thing. Yeah.
Spared because I would just, man, I don't know what to fucking do. But yeah, I mean, I've never really been, my take has always been a little more Joe Dirt.
Yeah.
Joe
Dierte.
A little more life's a garden. Dig it.
Love it.
Easy going. Just, trying to enjoy everything. And that was like legitimately how I kind of always lived, the 20-hour days of work, everything. It was just, I was always kind of able to keep grinding away at it and like find a way to like, hey man, this paycheck's gonna be nice or blah. Or you enjoy like the guys that you're working with that day, whether you're busting each other's nuts or what. I mean, you just gotta make the best of any situation. And here it's super easy. I'm not making you guys are making the best of the situation, honestly, because otherwise I'd just be.
We just invaded your house.
Yeah. You guys have made this super easy to take over. It's just.
It's all family, man. Like that. At the end of the day, I think that's the nice thing is that, we're all family and we're here to take care of each other, and that's what family does. And so that's what I think makes this co-living situation.
Cheers to that.
Easy as possible.
I think it's a good way to end.
I
Yeah.
hope everybody out there finds somebody to co-live with.
Hell yeah. Starting a movement.
Take action.
Take action. Find somebody to co-live with.
That's right.
Grab, not right now.
Yeah.
Because that person will probably like mace spray you and be like, 6 feet, 6 feet.
Hey, whatever, just delouse each other, take care of each other.
Good pickup
Powdered
line
sugar.
though.
It's so much easier to delouse somebody else than it is yourself.
Good pickup line though.
Yeah.
Hey, after all this, may want to talk about co-living.
Yeah.
But seriously, like, give it a serious thought. There are a ton of benefits. I don't even know that we covered it all in this episode, but I mean, it's just been a tremendous situation for all parties in this room. The sleeping party, these dogs that we have here, like, it's just been an amazing situation. So your Take Action Challenge is think about it. And if you think it's the right thing to do, just do it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both for being here and
Thanks for having me.
sharing your wisdom. This was an awesome episode. All right, folks, that's going to do it for today's episode. We really hope you enjoyed the interview with our roommates, Marc and Randy. And if you like this episode, please do us a favor and help us spread the message. You can do this by writing a review or simply sharing this episode with a friend. And remember, sharing sparks a conversation. Conversation leads to action, and action is how we are able to live a happy and intentional as hell lifestyle. We want to thank you all for listening today, and we will see you again next week.
See you later, guys.